Good morning. Really beautiful morning. It rained last night, so everything's so green and there is wind and it's really special. So, I'm leaving Thailand in less than 2 weeks at the time of making this video. I think by the time you get this video, it'll be a week from my departure. And I'd like to reflect on having been in Thailand mostly for the last since August. So August, September, October, November, December, January. So 7 months. I went to Nepal I went to Myanmar, I went to Malaysia briefly, and before that I was in Canada. So I'm basically going back, not to Canada. I'm going to first visit my family in Doha, Qatar. I don't know how long I will stay there, and then we'll see. Bansko, Bulgaria is on the list, and so is Turkey, and then final destination, Ecuador. So that'll unfold in the next year or so. I don't really have any plan as to how long I will spend time in each, but that's roughly the general idea. Now, why am I leaving Thailand? When I set out to come here, I thought this was going to be a place that I would stay for many years. But as always with our plans, and as always with our expectations and our projections, they often turn out to be completely different than the reality of things and how things unfold and how you change, how your mind changes, how your vision changes. So it kind of teaches you in a way to just kind of be here now in the moment and be open to anything. Whether it's, you really don't know what happens ever. Like, look at all your expectations and your plans of how things ought to be, and look how they've disappointed you for the most part. Or how, if that disappointed you, how off you were in your original expectation and projection. I honestly came here to Thailand and I was thinking, well, I'm going to be here for a few years. I thought I was going to be in the region for a few years. I thought, okay, maybe Thailand for 2-3 years, then Bali, Indonesia, which I haven't gone to, which I don't plan on going to, because let's discuss it here. Let's discuss my conclusions, and you have to keep in mind that this is just one man, one person, one human being recounting his experience, nothing more, nothing less. It should neither encourage you nor deter you from doing anything, from whether you're thinking about coming to Thailand, living here semi-permanently, or coming, or just going anywhere. It should neither encourage you nor discourage you. You should be, if you're in the observer stand, if you're in the observer consciousness, you're just watching this video with open ears, not judging it. You're just listening, okay? And hopefully that's the place you're coming from. And hopefully I can also do my best to come from also the place of the observer as I recount my experience here and as I reflect on it. So, my observations, my opinion, my asshole, is that everywhere you go is the same. Everywhere you go is the same. What do I mean by that? It's like this. Go take a look at your closet and look at all the clothes you have, and get yourself a mirror and start to put on different clothes, okay? And just take a look at in the mirror. So let's say you live in somewhere where the climate changes a lot, and so you have winter clothes, summer clothes, etc. So look at your closet. You've got what, jackets? Let me recount my closet from Canada. I had like massive jacket and a big Russian hat and gloves and boots for the winter months. And then I had these lighter jackets and lighter pants. No hat, no glove for fall and spring. And then I had what I'm wearing now, like tank top and shorts for summer. Now, every time I put on one of those different costumes, I was still the same person, just a different costume. And that's exactly what I'm seeing as I travel the world. It's the same thing, just dressed differently. Like, and what's the costume? The costume is culture. The costume is culture, and I can't help but think of Terence McKenna's famous words: "Culture is not your friend." Because everywhere I go, it's the same shit. Okay, let me just be clear here with my account. It's the same shit dressed differently, different costume, which is culture. Now, what do I mean by the same shit? Wherever you go, the places that you go to are constructed in the exact same way. Whether you're in Canada or Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, or Thailand, Koh Phangan, an island, or Pai, the countryside, or Bangkok, the city, or Kathmandu, Nepal, anywhere you go, it's the same thing. You go and you have convenience stores or 7-Elevens or something like that, where you can go and get water in plastic and buy things that are packaged. You have a big grocery store somewhere to go and buy your foods that are packaged to you instead of growing them yourself. You're paying a bunch of money for it, and then you have uh, closely tied houses and huts, right? Even here, like I'm in a resort, and you see all around me huts, 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 huts. Just humans, uh, not giving themselves and each other space, because again, we're not really connected to nature. We're not connected to nature. Even in a place like where I am here in Ireland, like people come here, most people come here to get drunk and party. We have the full moon party here, which uh, just happened. Another one happened recently, and so even when people come on vacation, they're coming here to party, to get drunk, and to explore. Okay. And just take time off from their boring day mundane lives. I mean, think of the concept of vacation. The concept of vacation, I'm gonna escape my shitty life to go and just distract myself for a little while. So it's the same thing. It's the civilized world. It's civilization. Wherever you go, it's civilization. It's constructed in the same. It's a template. It's the same template, and then you have culture dressed over it. Okay, so here, this culture here follows this religion, and this culture here follows that religion. This culture here has these traditions, and this culture here has those traditions. Okay, but it's like the same essence. People are sick, they're unhealthy. I can't tell you like the percentage of Thai people, and not just Thai people. Like even when I went to Nepal, Kathmandu, Nepal, and same thing in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. It's shocking, actually, the amount of obesity. It's actually quite shocking. So you got people basically spending most of their day eating and eating very unhealthy foods. People everywhere cook their foods, they fry their foods. That's like a standard. Okay, and they eat people all over the world eat a shit ton of meat. We're involved in basically mass murder, mass genocide of animals as human beings. Wherever you go, meat consumption here in Asia is rampant, rampant. I'm talking like seriously rampant. Okay, pork and like pork here in most of Asia, it's like it's the thing I think people eat the most, alongside with rice or noodles or something. But hey, I come from a Middle Eastern background, another culture, another custom, same thing. People slaughter lambs and sheep for the celebration and Eid al-Adha, right? Basically, I mean, I'm going back home with the family for a little bit now, and I'm talking to my mom. We're talking about food, and I'm telling her, like I don't eat meat anymore and stuff, and she's respectful of that. And I'm, sort of inquiring about certain things that she cooks that maybe I would like her to cook for me, just once or twice, just for old time's sake. And I'm learning now that everything that I ate growing up, even vegetables, like I was asking her about this roasted vegetable meal that she cooked that is delicious, and she told me, oh yeah, we put meat, like minced meat in it. And I was like, huh, even things that I grew up eating that were, seemed innocent still had some form of like animal, like killed dead animal in it. So I was like, huh, interesting. So it's true. Wherever I go, it's the same thing. Middle Easterns, I mean, they're crazy about their lamb and sheep. It's same everywhere, everywhere, same thing, same thing. Canada, you got all these ads of these burgers, and you've got the McDonald's and the Burger Kings everywhere. Every plaza has a McDonald's or a Burger King. McDonald's mostly. Canada is big on McDonald's. So it's the same thing. Essentially, humans are involved in mass genocide of animals. They're involved in one of the seven deadliest sin, which is gluttony. Human beings, for the most part, are gluttons. They're living to eat. They're living to eat. They're unhealthy. They're sick. People here have masks all over, and it isn't just because of the coronavirus. It's because there's so much pollution. Now I'm on an island here, so it's a lot less. But every day around evening sunset, people here between about 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. they burn trash and stuff. There's so much waste here. So much waste. Unbelievable. So they burn the trash, they burn the waste, and then for farmers in, say, a place like Pai, they burn their crops. Right now we can't be in a place like Pai in northern Thailand. It's smoky season, burning season. It's smoke all over. Very, very polluted air. So yeah, so it's same thing essentially. Wherever you go, you've got a different custom. Like, for example, I'll tell you an example. I had people come up to me when I was in Pai. It doesn't happen here in the island because it's beaches. And they told me to put on shoes and put on a shirt because it's incompatible with the culture, the Thai culture. Now, again, in the islands, a different thing. Not so different from me. I mean, I'm going back to Doha, Qatar for a little bit. I will not even attempt to walk around shirtless or without shoes. I will be destroyed. Wouldn't be surprised if somebody pulls something and say like, look, either put on like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? They probably call the cops. I'm not gonna attempt it because although different cultures, different traditions, but still, no shirt. You can't do that, right? Buddhism here, for example, it's not very embracing of the naked human body. So the shirtless thing specifically was coming more from a Buddhist thing. It's like, nudity. It's seen as like a no-no. Okay, well, that's just here, but also everywhere else, right? Everywhere else, for the most part, everywhere else, is you can't. It's like, the human body is demonized, but so again, it's a different custom, a different culture, religion, whatever, all the mixing of it. But it's like same shit. Wherever you go, it's the same shit, same thing, right? And people eating dead animals everywhere, slaughtering animals and eating them everywhere. And then congestions everywhere, right? Just everything is built in a congested manner. Congestion everywhere. So that's why I'm not really too hyped about traveling anymore, because I realize wherever I'm gonna go, it's gonna be the same story. Here I am, all right, convenience stores, grocery stores, apartment buildings, polluted air, dead animals, mass genocides of animals, gluttony, food everywhere, obsession with food, it's like it's the same thing. Now you could go on YouTube and look up some of these things, like traveling to Thailand or traveling to Indonesia or traveling to Turkey, and pretty quickly you're gonna see that most people are gonna report the delicious foods that they eat, which is mostly meats. oh, that delicious kebab doner, Turkish kebab doner that you will taste in Istanbul, or oh, those fried dumplings with pork in them that you will get to experience in China, or or it's like, that seems to be the thing people are up to. That seems to be the thing most humans are attracted to. And so you'll see like people rambling and ranting about how great this culture is and how great that is, and it's like, no, culture is not your friend. It's very, very limiting, and it's like you're living inside. I mean, you could be fascinated, right? So you're fascinated. Wow, this culture is awesome. I mean, these traditions are so awesome. This food is so awesome, Oh, you should wait until you try the doner, the Turkish doner, and wait until you try the kebabs, and wait until you try the Afghan kebabs, or the Lebanese shawarma and stuff like that. It's like actually all this fascination, if it's keeping you in the illusion of the matrix and the way it's built, and how it's killing you earlier, first of all, due to your eating lifestyles and habits. Second of all, how it's limiting your expression as a human. Because everywhere you go, you have to abide by the traditions, by the cultural norms and traditions. And as far as I know, for the vast majority of places, you cannot be naked. You cannot be naked. That's why, there is such things that exist called nude beaches, where people who realize how absurd it is to be forced to wear clothes have to actually go to these planned out secluded spots just to be. And I'm just using nudity here as a simple small example here of much bigger picture, right? If you want to release emotions and scream and yell and cry and this and that, you probably gotta either go to a safe space or go somewhere to the woods, just to be able to express yourself as a human, because these things are not appropriate in almost any culture. So yeah, you see all these people, wow, I went to Thailand, man, and the culture is so fascinating. Or I went to Turkey, and man, like, it's so fascinating and the culture is incredible, and man, you should see the traditions and the way people do things. It's like, and all the foods, oh my god. And it's like you're mostly eating dead animals, and you're not realizing the mass genocide that's going on, right? Because wherever you go, trust me, the most eaten two dishes are some kind of grain, either rice or noodles or bread. Middle Easterns use bread and rice interchangeably, right? And then meat. Those are the two. So start like the Dr. Sebi says, starch and blood. That's starch and blood, right? And people go over and they rant about how awesome the cuisine of that culture is and stuff like that. It's like that's poison, but your senses are fooling you. And then your fascination with culture is just reinforcing all the limitations of each culture passes on to you. That thing where everywhere you go you have to be respectful of everyone's culture. You're just reinforcing the limitations on your human expression. Every time you go to a place and you're like, I gotta be respectful of this culture. Right? It's like, it's bizarre. It really is bizarre. So yeah, it's just different customs. It's just like wearing winter clothes, summer clothes, spring clothes, fall clothes, just same you. And it's the same thing, it's the same essence that's running this planet. And it's no wonder that we're facing all these ecological disasters right now, and all these problems, and all these health issues. It's no wonder, it's no secret, because things are being run here like some kind of a mad circus. It's a mad circus here. It's a shit show. It's a shit show. It's been like that for thousands of years. Thousands of years. So traveling only reinforced that clear observation, which is the planet is a shit show. It's been a shit show now. Okay, it has been a shit show, and it needs major changes in every department. In every department. Now, I haven't even talked about the waste here and how much of it there is. Asian countries have the most amount of waste, and America sends a lot of their waste here. I mean, So, anyway, I'm not exactly impressed with anywhere I go now. Okay, period. Now, I know, 19, 20 minutes now, so it's been so negative, Side. You've been so negative, man. I know, yeah, he was so negative, right? Just negative. Not negative. I'm observing. I'm telling you here. If you look everywhere, it's the same. It's the same. And so, if you're really looking, if you're really like zooming out, it's the same program. It's that same. It's that reptilian program, man. The elite program, the Illuminati program, the architects of the Matrix. They programmed it the same way, and it's capitalism and it's industrialism and it's the same thing. Everywhere you go, it's the same. Everywhere you go, it's the same. So now, of course, I enjoyed my time here. I had loads of times and just hanging out in the woods on my own. Uh, I met some incredible people. I've had some incredible experiences. I very much loved it here. So much more than living in Canada. So overall, when I leave, I will only remember the fun times, the happy times, as I always do. Because despite me appearing to you as very negative here, actually, when I look back at anywhere I went and any experience I had, I only remember the good stuff, like the pleasantness of it. Like if I look at any relationship I had with a woman, it's like I'm seriously fond of every relationship and every woman. I really am. At the end of the day, when I go away from a certain experience, I tend to remember the pleasantness that comes with it. Like even spending 4 months up in Fort McMurray in northern Alberta, which was brutal. I actually remember like the fond memories and the things that I learned is usually what I remember. It's what I learned. That's usually what I remember most. Is like I learned from that experience. I learned that. So overall, I'm quite fond of having been here for 7 months. I don't think I'll be back here. I don't think I'll be back here. I don't think I'll be back to the Asian side of the planet. And in fact, I think once I'm settled in Ecuador, I think that's gonna be my home. So why Ecuador? Well, if you've been following with the off-grid project, you know what I'm talking about here. So next up, I'm going to Doha, Qatar. Spend some time with my family. It's open-ended. I haven't decided how long I will stay there, and then it's open-ended, with the ultimate destination being Ecuador within the next year or 2 years or 6 months, or I don't know. But this realization that everywhere you go is the same, it's Babylon. Everywhere you go is Babylon. It's civilization. It's tainted. You're bombarded with capitalism and consumerism and materialism. I mean, that whole obsession with food is consumerism. That's the consumerist program that's running the show here, the shit show, all around the planet. That made me realize that the only way now is to go live off grid. What is off grid living? It's cultureless in many ways. Nature is cultureless. There's no traditions. Nature is not going to judge you for being naked in nature. Nature is not going to judge you for screaming your lungs out. Nature is not going to judge you for dancing your heart out. Nature is not going to judge you for anything. It's cultureless because it's culture that judges you, the program installed in each culture that judges you, that restricts your human expression. So I'm now drawn to the cultureless. I'm drawn to the not lawless, but rulesless, if that's even a word. Because there are certain laws that govern the cosmos and govern nature, but not culture is full of rules you have to follow, you have to adhere to. I've gotten lots of neighbor complaints here, as much as I did in Canada too, for either, maybe singing and being a little too loud or speaking too loudly, etc., etc. I've got lots of them here, and then I've got the complaints about being shirtless and being without shoes. I've got several of those too. I've got really lots of weird looks at me, like what are you doing, or stuff like that, which is I'm now no stranger to. It's the same story in Canada because it's the culture, and I am sort of an outlaw in many ways. I am an outlaw in many ways, and I'm not saying it in that cool rapper gangster shit, but I'm saying it in the sense of I feel I'm restricted everywhere I go, and it's always made clear to me, when there's somebody, can you please keep it down? And often they're polite. Often they're polite. You know, I'll give you know, most part, anytime I gotta knock on the door to tell me that, hey, you know, you're loud or this or that or boom or you're, you know, it's the singing and stuff, or you know, speak less, you're too loud, can you speak can you keep your voice down, etc. It's like it just made me realize over and over that it doesn't matter where I go, I'm being bound by these rules, by these cultural norms and traditions and expectations, etc., etc. And that's what made me realize that I'm bound now to go and live off grid, buy a large amount of land, and build my own shelter on it, and live in harmony with nature and live in peace and in freedom to express, freedom to. I'm gonna get some big drums, okay, and I really like drums, uh, and and yeah, that's just one of many things. You know, I'll definitely want to live largely naked because I mean, you know, my asshole. You know, by the way, there's a thing about, it's called the what, butthole tanning or asshole tanning. Apparently, it's a thing. Apparently, your asshole can pull a lot of melanin off the sun. And I'll tell you, like my genitals and my asshole really, like, a few times I would go somewhere very isolated, and I'd take off my shorts, and then I'd get some sunshine on my asshole, on my balls and stuff, and I feel really good. And the first few times that I did this, I got a boner, which apparently it turns out is, I did some research on this with people that are into this buttholing thing. It's very common actually. People get, because it's like the genital wakes up. I mean, why it never gets any sunshine. It's a crime. It's a crime, man. It's a crime against the genitals. So that's just one thing, amongst many things. So all these realizations, I want to go to the culture list. I'm tired of culture, period. I'm tired of traditions and culture and norms, and you've got to do this way, and here are our rules. This is the Thai culture, this is the Middle Eastern culture, this is the North American culture. You must abide by these rules. And God forbid you rebel against it, or you go against the flow of it. You are a heretic. You're deemed a heretic. I remember when I used to go to the gym back in my days, and I always thought of the gym as my way out, along with nature, of where it's a place where I truly can be uh, expressing myself in raw form, just raw. So I used to go there, put on my music, and I just go bad shit, right? I mean, bad shit. I had punching back there in the gym. I had all these cool gymnastic moves on, like, there was a nice setup, and a lot of people in that gym hated my guts because I would go there and just sort of express myself openly. You know, like, just here it is, right? Here it is. The dancing, the singing, the loudness, all that, the jumping up and down. And so the gym and nature often have been those, I don't really go to the gym. I don't go to the gym anymore. I don't remember the last time I went, and must have been at least a year. But for at least the last 5 years or so, those were the two places where I could be free. Free from the cultural rules, traditions, norms, ways of behavior, conducts, unspoken and spoken. And now, traveling, I've been doing quite a bit of traveling now. I still got a few places that I'm traveling to. Qatar, Bulgaria, Turkey, and then Ecuador. Made me realize that first of all, I'm not fit for society. It just keeps being reinforced through the universe to me, in the form of neighbor complaints, in the form of people coming up to me, making comments, in the form of people giving me like really nasty looks for expressing in a certain way. It's because they're following the rules and they're sticking by it, etc. And when they see somebody stepping out of line, you know, they look and they say, well, how come he or she are stepping out of line and I can't do it? And then they want to bring you back in. It's the Plato's allegory of the cave. Exact same thing, right? Exact same thing. So that all basically led me to, and I guess that's what I learned from 7 months here. It led me to realize that I just gotta go live off grid. I got, go to the cultureless, which is nature. Nature is cultureless. Cultureless. You abide by cosmic laws, not cultural norms, not cultural rules, which are just made up. No, cosmic laws. Cosmic laws. And you harmonize yourself with the Tao. You no artificial lights, lots of space. Humans, we love space. We love space. Lots of space around. Total freedom to do whatever you want to do. Freedom to be quiet, freedom to be loud. Freedom to dance and sing, freedom to hum, freedom to meditate quietly, or freedom to be up at 12 a.m. and play the drums or play the flute. I like the flute. I'm going to learn the flute and the drums. And I'm going to get a big ass surround system, music surround system, on my 5 hectares of land. That's a lot of land. So Ecuador, most likely, there are other candidate places, but Ecuador most likely is the place. So I'm not the final destination here, and it could change, but it will be somewhere in South America, because that's where it's cheap and easy to get land, and it's good climate also. So let's suppose for now it's Ecuador. So the final destination here isn't Ecuador, because I want to go and explore the amazing Ecuadorian culture. Because I know it's gonna be the same shit dressed in a different costume. I know this by now. It's a broken record now. It's like, here we go, this shit again, not this shit again. It's gonna be one of those, not this shit again, right? Because I just know where it's gonna be the same thing. And here is our history, and here's where our great leader led his troops and his people to great victory against those bad guys. Everywhere you go, it just gets so redundant. So I'm not going to Ecuador because we should have just what is this concept of borders anywhere? It's so absurd. I'm going there because I want to because it seems like a groovy place. Thank God these places still exist where you can to an extent do your thing, and I'm not under the impression that I'm going there and creating a paradise, because I know that even the concept of buying land, owning land, that doesn't even sit well with me. It's like, what am I buying here? This is God's land, but we've lost it with the civilization, with our ways with civilization. We lost it with civilization, whereas living on land, off the land, with the land is just the way it is. But now you actually have to go and buy, and luckily in this sick world, there is still places that exist like Panama and Ecuador and Peru, where you can still go and buy land for a reasonable price and actually live off grid and actually grow your own food if you're into that. Or if you're a breatharian, you don't even need to do that. That's a plus of being a breatharian. And grow your own stuff. In my case, I'd like to grow iboga, mushrooms, psychoactive stuff. And so yeah, look here, for example. Drug laws are serious. Were I to try and grow mushrooms here and somehow be caught with them, I would be sent to the Thai prisons here for God knows how long. Look, that's culture. That's culture for you. So that's why the final destination for me is in that region, for that reason. It's not because I want to go and explore the glorious South American culture. No, please, away from all cultures. I want to be one with nature. I want to be one with cosmic laws. I want to be one with the Tao. I want to be in harmony. When it's nighttime, I don't want to have artificial lights all around. And I don't want to hear loud noises of motorbikes, which you could see them all over there. Right there, you see? Okay? And again, I'm in like a pretty quiet area here, and it's quiet at night. And still, you've got to deal with this. Right? I don't want to hear engines all around me, and motorbikes all over, and many people making many noises. Right? And not even sounds, noises. Okay? I just want to be in harmony with the Tao, with the way. I want to play the drums at 12 a.m., man. Like loud, you know, like do, and do some throat singing. You know, one thing I realized about like meditating, humming, dancing and singing, if you're not doing it loudly, it has like half the effect. Even less. It loses like half its nutritional value. Like if I have to keep down my singing and my dancing, like let's say I'm singing is very therapeutic. But if I have to keep it down, just so I can you know, not annoy the people around me, because we're like this, box like this, then it loses like at least half its nutritional value. Because here I am singing, but I'm still like, I'm not fully in it. Because if I'm fully in it, I'm letting go into it, I'm gonna like get so into it, right? This is where I usually, when I get so into it, I get the knock on the door. Chick, 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 chick. Can you please stop singing? It's distracting people, it's annoying people, or something along those lines, usually presented in a polite manner. It loses half its, it's like a fruit that's been shipped halfway across the world. It already lost like 75% of its nutritional value. It's the same thing. Whenever you have to be mindful and keep your voice down, and keep it down, and keep your expression down, yeah, you know, lower it down, keep it down, you know, you're losing most of the nutritional value, the therapeutic value of that thing. You see? Same thing with like laughter meditation and stuff like that, you know? You know, loudness, man. Loudness is you know, and I'm a very loud person, and it's hard for me to keep it down. But it's because I feel the benefits from expressing yourself in that manner. You know, sound healing is a thing. And in those cases, trust me, the louder you can be, the more free you feel like. It's, you know. So yeah, so these things, you know, all these things about just living in culture, living in society. Hello. Hey, come here. Hey, come here. Oh, that's a beautiful dog. I'm gonna have a bunch of dogs on my land too. A bunch of dogs. I love dogs. Cause I don't have, I just love dogs, man. So, as you can see, I'm quite frustrated of being in society, no matter where I go, because I ain't supposed to be. I ain't supposed to be. I ain't supposed to be in living in Babylon. That's I am not supposed to be living in Babylon. So that's the plan. That's the thing. I mean, why am I going to Qatar? Why am I not still in Thailand while I'm saving up money for the project? Because I am lucky and grateful to have now opportunities to be able to live rent free for some time, so I could accelerate the savings of money, so that I can finally, you know, I can buy the land and build the shelter and live off grid. So that's why, you know, if I'm gonna live in by rules, be abided by rules, I might as well get something out of it at least. One thing I will make sure of moving forward while the project is being carried out is that I'm gonna try to always get a place where it's spacious, and with the least amount of neighbors. It's very difficult. You'll see this everywhere you go. It's very difficult actually to do that. It's actually quite difficult to do that, because you know, you go to places like here, it's very touristy, so there's always people building. We want more people to come here so we can have more of their money, you see. So oh, here's the sunlight. Oh man, that, you see, you hear that rascal over there? That guy wakes me up every morning, but today I beat him to the punch. Why'd you shut up? I wasn't complaining. I like it when you wake me up. Come on, keep going. Like, and I give you an example. Another thing, if I find myself out in nature just by myself, I start to speak out loud to myself, which is amazing. Actually, it gives you so much clarity. But I don't do that when I'm like here, when I'm inside, like we're surrounded by people, because then I'm deemed to be a crazy person, right? And no matter how much I don't give a fuck, I still feel this watchful eye of society watching over me. So if I was to go around speaking out loud to myself, because it's something that if I'm in nature I do all the time, and it just gives me so much clarity. It's also something that I do when I'm on psychedelics, because I just get so free on psychedelics. It just frees you, right? But here, you know, something like that, you know, I have to, again, restrict the expression. So my thoughts play ping pong here. They just play pong. And that's why I make, because society, hey, I'm making, you know, somebody comes along here, oh, but he's making a YouTube video, man. You know, he's making a video. He's not a crazy person. That's why I love making videos, because I'm speaking to myself out loud here. You see, so I love making videos, and it keeps, so I could make them here, and somebody can come along, and I could still seem like a sane person, because oh, he's just making videos, right? But I'm talking to myself here, and I mean, I'm telling you, being outspoken, like being loud, just, you know, it's, I mean, wow, you know, it's key, man. It's key for your health. So you hear this guy? You see, birds sing. Birds are loud. Birds are fully aligned with the Tao, and they're just the bird sometimes, like, so annoying in the morning. Like, I just want to sleep. Bird doesn't give a fuck, because the bird's so aligned with the Tao. It's not bound by, there isn't like a bird culture saying, well, you can't be loud here. You're gonna wake up the other birds. No, the bird's just birding. It's just being, right? And so it's free in its expression. Actually, when you become a free human being, you'll find that you want to sing a lot, you want to dance a lot, you want to be loud, you want to scream sometimes out of joy, you want to like jump up and down, you want to speak to yourself out loud. You'll find that when you're fully like in alignment. And that does not sit well with any program in any culture, in any society. It doesn't sit well at all, folks, at all. So these are my thoughts. So these aren't really my thoughts on Thailand. These are my thoughts on civilization, on culture, on society, modern human societies. So, rascal. You're a rascal. Same thing with the chickens, go 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 go, and the roosters, right? That's it. They're just being. Now, human beings are a step above animals in evolution. Well, we can learn a few things. We can learn how to express our sounds, very much so, our sounds, right? It's very, very important. And I have yet to find a place where I can be totally comfortable in that. The only place I'm comfortable with is somewhere out in nature, as far away from society as possible, is often when I was able to fully, like, I remember one time I had a mushroom trip, and I had so many tears that needed to be released. Even in my apartment, I wasn't fully comfortable releasing them because I had so many neighbors around. There's so much going on. I had to go like somewhere so out of society for me to be able to completely for 45 minutes to an hour just crying, deep sobbing. If you tell me to deep sob here, I wouldn't be comfortable with it right here. I mean, I'm surrounded everywhere. Look, huts everywhere, people everywhere, right? So yeah, that's it's not to say I'm not great. I'm grateful for everything, believe me. I'm grateful for when I broke my wrist. I'm grateful for when my dad beat the shit out of me growing up. I'm grateful for everything because uh, everything is ultimately a blessing. And it is a blessing for me to travel. It is a blessing for me to observe human society. It is a blessing for me to experience feeling restricted in my expression as to know what the planet needs as to fulfill my star mission, my wanderer mission here, which is to elevate consciousness. And part of the elevation of consciousness is going back to nature and letting go of all these old stale traditions and cultural norms and cultural standards, etc., and stepping to a place of love, unconditional acceptance, and total joy and total self-expression. So yeah, now in the next video I will update you guys on the off-grid project here, because I've been doing some research here, and so we've got some things here to cover. So yeah, that will be in the next video, which I'll make immediately after this video. Okay, so thank you to all the Patreons for your support. Mwah. Big kiss for you guys. I love you. If you want to support, you believe in this mission, you believe in this project, all the money now goes towards the project. Okay, so there's link for Patreon or PayPal. We've just received a very generous $50 donation from our friend Tina. Thank you so much on PayPal. And thank you to everybody who ever donated, either via Patreon or PayPal. The links are in the description. I love you guys, and until next time, may the force be with you.